A young boy is in a soccer game. He and his team try their hardest to win, but they end up being destroyed 10-0. They feel down, but they're surprised with the participation trophy, and now the whole team is happy. This seems like innocent fun to make everyone feel good, but what does that do to the mind of these young boys? It's setting a standard that will stick with them for many years, to expect to win even when they do not put in the work, that they don't need to train harder or do better because they are all still winners. When those boys become adults, they wonder why the world hit them so hard, why it seems impossible to survive or get a job, and they turn to demanding more because they deserve it. There is a dangerous culture rising in America that is creating and producing weak men. What does weakness look like? We are at record low testosterone levels, low fertility, low marriage, a baby shortage. This culture focuses so hard on making everyone feel good, feel comfortable, that pressure and hardship become foreign to us. And so when life demands more than your best, you crumble. That is why so many men today struggle with making executive decisions, and they act powerless when it comes to problems like losing weight, mental health, or getting a job. And those are real problems, but they are not out of our control. Weak men think they are, and that is why these problems seem like epidemics today. Let me ask, what drives strength in a man? Or first, what is strength? The strength we're looking at is not physical, although that is important. But strength is when you can step forward and build something that did not exist before. In other words, productivity. Not reactive productivity where you're just told what to do and you make no executive decisions. Strength is proactive productivity where you're no longer waiting around being told what to do, and instead you do it. Most jobs don't function that way, so it may take an outside project for most people. But it's easy to tear something down, and it's easy to do nothing. And weak men do that all the time. But to build, that takes strength. So then, what drives that? How do we get that strength? As with any person, man or woman, strength comes from one thing: your inclination for growth. Why do they say strong men create good times create weak men create hard times, and so on? Because the weak men see the good times as hard and nothing gets done. Everything starts to collapse until the good men come around, that they are still living in those weak times and they don't care. They'll get stuff done anyway, and now we're back to good times. To be able to be pushed and stressed to the limits on a project which may or may not give anything in return, and to walk away satisfied nonetheless because you learned something, because you did something, that is an inclination for growth. With the weak man culture spreading, I do not want you to fall into it. I want that to end. Because it looks like complaining about working too hard. It looks like wishing and wanting. It looks like asking why the world is so hard and not how can I get this done? Weak men are lazy men, entitled men, guys who complain from working 40 hours a week. 40 hours! There are 168 hours in a week, and they struggle to be productive for 40 of them. Whenever you hear someone say, "I deserve," that is a weak person. Nobody deserves anything but their liberty. And the only thing I will argue that everyone deserves is a strong man in their life, because that is something that should be natural and everywhere. When we look at the responsibility of the man, the masculine, that has been hard-coded in our nature, which works in harmony with the nature of woman, it tells us that we are the providers, we are the protectors, we are the ones that look into our women and children's eyes to bring stability when we tell them everything is going to be okay. When a man fails at being strong, when a man falls weak, a woman suffers from what she could have had. A family falls apart. Those children have to face the ugly of the world much sooner, And with one weak man dies a legacy of strong fathers and mothers. All because someone wanted to avoid the relationship of work and reward and say, I deserve. Now that does not mean that the man must suffer, that the man must bleed, that he must cry. This means that when man fulfills their nature, their suffering is overpowered by fulfillment. Their blood is seen with admiration. Their tears are met with love. And when they work till they fall, they are embraced by the home they built until they are ready to work again. Love, happiness, pride, none of that is free. You don't get those beauties of life from just being alive, from participating. It has to be earned through your work, through your craft, and most importantly, through recognizing and living by the truth of our nature. Just by recognizing our nature and accepting it, your actions, decisions, and habits will start benefiting your life instead of working against it. And what happens when we act in ways that benefit our lives? We reach the skies with our buildings. We manipulate the weather with our air conditioning. We surpass nature in every way by flying higher, moving faster, and lighting up the night when the sun goes down. And most importantly, and with great pride, we become the stepping stool of our families, for our wives to have that beautiful choice to pursue whatever calls for them, for our daughters to feel confident in this world, knowing they are protected and they are safe, and for our sons to help them step higher than we ever could. There's no quick tip or hack to reach that. There is no entitlement program to get us there. There is no person who will drag you there. It is only reached through identifying the reality of our nature, that you need to be strong and always chasing growth. That changes every downstream action about your life. You don't need tricks when you can just see the truth. And so to prevent bad times with this weak culture of demasculinized men, which also brings a culture of great death, we need to realign with what's real. No more fantasy land or catering to delusion. It takes acceptance with the reality that the truth exists outside of our wants and wishes. See truth, accept truth, live by truth, and you are no longer a weak man. That is how we revive American culture and create strong men to bring back good times.